Billie Eilish pirate Baird O'Connell, a name that once echoed quietly through the walls of a Los Angeles bedroom, now roars across stadiums and award stages worldwide. But how does a homeschooled teenager who uploaded a song to SoundCloud for her dance teacher become one of the youngest Grammy winners in history and one of the most polarizing figures in pop culture? Her rise wasn't polished or predictable, it was chaotic, raw, and unsettling. She emerged in oversized clothes, whispering dark lyrics about pain and nightmares, defying every standard of the pop star image. Some called her a genius, others called her a fraud. Behind the platinum hair, behind the whispers of bad guy, lies a story of struggle, scandal, and reinvention. This is the untold story of Billie Eilish, how a bedroom dreamer became a global icon. Billie Eilish pirate Baird O'Connell was born on December 18, 2001, in Los Angeles, California. From the very beginning, her life was anything but ordinary. Raised in Highland Park, a neighborhood teeming with artists and dreamers, Billie grew up in a household where creativity wasn't just encouraged, it was a way of life. Her parents, Maggie Baird and Patrick O'Connell, were both actors and musicians, struggling but passionate. They chose to homeschool Billie and her brother Finneas, believing that freedom would give them the space to experiment, to create, and to fail without fear. The O'Connell home was filled with instruments, scripts, and recording equipment. For most kids, school was a classroom. For Billie, it was a piano, a guitar, and a microphone. Yet beneath the artistic freedom were shadows that shaped her future. Billie was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome as a child, a condition that caused involuntary tics and movements. She also struggled with anxiety and depression, battles that would follow her into her teens and seep into her lyrics. But she was never alone. Finneas, her older brother by 4 years, became her closest collaborator, protector, and creative partner. Together, they built songs out of whispers, laughter, and heartbreak. What could have been a fragile, isolated childhood instead became the foundation of an extraordinary artistic bond. Billie's early life wasn't about red carpets or flashing lights. It was about a small, tightly knit family who believed in turning struggles into art and in giving their children the freedom to find their own voices. In 2015, at just 13 years old, Billie recorded a song that would change her life forever. Written by Finneas for his own band, Ocean Eyes was handed to Billie almost by accident. She recorded the haunting track in her bedroom and sent it to her dance teacher, who needed a song for choreography. What followed was nothing short of explosive. When Ocean Eyes was uploaded to SoundCloud, it spread like wildfire. Its fragile, breathy vocals and dreamlike production stood out in a sea of manufactured pop. Critics called it enchanting. Fans described it as addictive. For Billie, who had never expected more than a handful of plays, the attention was overwhelming. The song quickly caught the ear of industry executives, leading to a deal with Interscope Records. By 2017, Billie released her debut EP, Don't Smile at Me. Songs like Bellyache, I Don't Wanna Be You Anymore, and Copycat showcased her unique blend of dark storytelling, quirky beats, and a voice that felt both intimate and unsettling. Equally striking was her image. Billie refused the glittery costumes of traditional pop stars. Instead, she appeared in oversized hoodies, baggy pants, and neon hair, deliberately masking her body to reject the industry's obsession with sexualizing young women. To her growing fan base, this wasn't just fashion. It was rebellion. By the end of 2017, Billie Eilish was no longer just an internet phenomenon. She had become the face of a new wave of pop music. Unapologetic, unconventional, and unafraid to break every rule in the book. Billie's true explosion onto the world stage came in 2019, with her debut studio album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Crafted entirely in the O'Connell family home, with Finneas as producer and Billie as its eerie, whispering storyteller, the album sounded like nothing else in pop at the time. It was a cocktail of nightmares, lullabies, and rebellion. A record that spoke directly to the fears and fantasies of an anxious generation. The single bad guy became an unstoppable force. Its playful bass line and Billie's sardonic whispers turned the song into an anthem, dethroning Lil Nas X's Old Town Road after its record-breaking chart run. Billie was just 17, yet she had conquered the Billboard Hot 100, streaming platforms, and the imaginations of millions worldwide. Awards soon followed. At the 2020 Grammys, Billie made history, sweeping all four of the big categories: Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. She became the youngest artist ever to achieve this, solidifying her status not just as a rising star, but as a once-in-a-generation talent. Her success wasn't limited to pop charts. In 2020, she was tapped to write and perform No Time to Die, the theme song for the James Bond film. The haunting ballad earned her an Academy Award, a Golden Globe, and a Grammy, placing her among the youngest artists ever to achieve Hollywood's most prestigious honors. Beyond music, Billie became a cultural symbol. Her oversized clothing wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a manifesto against the industry's exploitation of young women. She gave voice to a generation that felt misunderstood, anxious, and resistant to traditional definitions of beauty and fame. By 18, Billie Eilish had transformed from an internet curiosity into a global pop icon. She wasn't just riding the wave of success, she was rewriting the rules of what pop stardom could look and sound like. Fame, however, comes at a cost, and for Billie Eilish, the spotlight burned hot and merciless. As quickly as the world embraced her, it also began to tear her apart. Her music, praised by millions, was equally criticized. Dark lyrics about depression, death, and destructive love drew accusations of glamorizing mental illness. Some critics dismissed her as a manufactured goth act, claiming her persona was a calculated gimmick. The whispers of admiration were drowned out by shouts of skepticism. Her image sparked controversy, too. The oversized clothing she wore to avoid objectification became a talking point for tabloids. When paparazzi captured her in casual, fitted clothes, the internet erupted. Commentators dissected her body with the same intensity they once analyzed her music. Billie later admitted how painful the scrutiny was, revealing her struggles with body dysmorphia and depression. Old videos surfaced online, showing her mouthing offensive words as a young teen. Accusations of cultural insensitivity quickly followed. Billie apologized publicly, but the backlash highlighted how every move she made, even mistakes from childhood, was weaponized under the glare of fame. Then there were the rumors about her personal life. Relationships, both confirmed and speculated, became tabloid fodder. Every sighting with friends or romantic partners turned into global gossip. Fans split into factions, defending or condemning her choices, while social media amplified the noise. Even her success was used against her. Some claimed her Grammy sweep was undeserved, that she was overhyped, or that her brother Finneas was the true mastermind. For a teenager still grappling with identity and mental health, the relentless criticism was suffocating. But Billie never shied away completely. She addressed controversies head-on, admitting her flaws, apologizing when necessary, and confronting the toxicity of fame in her lyrics. The scandals could have destroyed her. Instead, they became part of her mythology. A young artist under siege, fighting to remain authentic in a world eager to tear her down. By 2021, Billie Eilish was ready to rewrite her story. After years of hiding beneath oversized hoodies, she shocked the world with a bold transformation. Her Vogue magazine cover revealed platinum blonde hair and a glamorous retro look, drawing comparisons to Hollywood icons like Marilyn Monroe. For Billie, it wasn't about conforming. It was about reclaiming control. This reinvention extended to her music. Her sophomore album, Happier Than Ever, showcased maturity and depth. The title track, beginning as a quiet ballad before erupting into a furious rock crescendo, became an anthem of liberation. It was Billie breaking chains, of toxic relationships, of public judgment, of her own insecurities. She also emerged as an activist. Billie spoke openly about climate change, veganism, and mental health. Her honesty about depression and self-image resonated with fans who saw themselves in her struggles. She championed body positivity, reminding the world that she would define her image on her own terms. This reinvention was not a departure from her past, but an evolution. Billie Eilish proved that she was not just a teenage sensation destined to fade. She was an artist capable of growth, resilience, and reinvention, on her own timeline, in her own voice. Billie Eilish has already carved her place in history, and she is barely in her 20s. She is more than a chart-topping singer. She is a cultural disruptor who redefined what pop stardom could look like. In an industry obsessed with perfection, she embraced imperfection. In a world that sexualized youth, she hid in baggy clothes until she chose to reveal herself. Her career has been as much about resistance as it has been about music. She has given a voice to Generation Z, raw, anxious, unfiltered, yet fearless. Her songs don't just entertain, they connect, offering a mirror for the struggles of identity, mental health, and authenticity. Yes, her journey is littered with scandals and controversies, but that is part of her legacy, the ability to rise, to evolve, and to remain unapologetically herself. Billie Eilish's story reminds us that sometimes the quietest voices can echo the loudest, and that authenticity, even when messy, has the power to inspire a generation. Like, share, and subscribe to discover more stars and scandals that shaped Hollywood.